because this is interesting, you know, the Athens and stuff like that is very interesting. I think it's a very good resource for the trainee. I mean, and for us as well. Because
I hope so. It'll be a little bit of a refresher if you've already got to some of these resources, and it hopefully will be useful if you haven't already. Now, I've been nagging you on WhatsApp to sign up for Athens if you haven't already done so. If you didn't take the hints, you can try and do that today, but I won't be able to troubleshoot your problems whilst I'm demonstrating the other features. So I will take it from the beginning, and we can use sort of various methods. I'm going to demonstrate a few bits. If you've got an Athens account already set up, or you're very quick and it works well, then join in. Have a look at the resources I'm going to show you, just explore them and ask any questions you like. So whilst I'm screen sharing, I won't be able to see what you're up to on Zoom. So it would be terrific if someone could alert me if there's a question, if there's a hand up, or even if there's something in chat, to be honest, because I get a bit carried away. So if just shout out is probably easiest. So I'm just going to stick you a document into WhatsApp. It's a PDF that is going to guide you to log in to the first thing I want to show you, which is BMJ Best Practice. So bear with me just a second. I was going to come in all prepped and ready, and then Sundar said, "We could do you now." So I've jumped straight in. Hang on a second while I sort myself out. Right. Oh, things go slowly when you don't want them to. Okay, I'm putting a PDF into chat, which has got the link that you'll want for visiting BMJ Best Practice. So hang on just a second. So if you've arrived, and a cat is visiting me, so that's good. Don't type anything, cat. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to do a screen share, and we'll start with BMJ Best Practice, which has been purchased by Health Education England for all NHS staff. If you have not set up an Athens account, and or you are tuning in today from Nepal, you won't be able to sign up for Athens, but there's still something that you can look at, so I will show you that too. So bear with me just a second, and we'll do screen share, and I will show you what I'm up to. Okay, so I'm going to show you BMJ Best Practice. I'm going to, I've got the PDF up that I've just sent you. So this is the first way in. If you have got an Athens account, this is the way that you're going to go in. I'll set this up and running, and then I'll come back and show you what to do if you don't have an Athens account and you need a different way in. So this is the first thing to do. If your Athens is sorted, then it's pretty easy to join in through Athens. And this is your, it's like if you think of Athens as a key to a door. The door's locked, the NHS stashes all its good stuff behind the door. It's pretty straightforward. It's not a resource in its own right. It is just an authentication system that's used by universities and the NHS to protect their stuff. So I'm going into BMJ Best Practice, and
so Sarah, this is like an engine, is a search engine.
Sorry, say that again, Mr. Jones.
It's like a search, is it? So you have to search the health resources, go through Open Athens.
No, BMJ Best Practice itself is, it advertises itself as a clinical decision support tool. So this is.
No, I mean the Athens account.
The Athens itself is just a key to unlock a door. You, the NHS puts a great deal of things behind that locked door.
Like you put to go to Google and you search further, is it? It's like that.
It's not like Google. No, Athens itself has no content. The Athens account is just your authentication system to get to the good stuff. But you do need it to get to all of our databases, the healthcare databases, so Medline, Synol, etc. You can get to the NHS versions of those using your Athens account. It's very useful, but it's got no substance to it itself. So BMJ Best Practice has its website. It also has an app, which probably is going to be the most useful thing. You can't get to the app before you've jumped through a couple of hoops. And the first hoop is to log on to the website with Athens and then set yourself up with a personal account. So anyone who is bold and has an Athens account but has not yet set up a BMJ Best Practice personal account, I didn't get any volunteers by WhatsApp, and I'm not confident I'm going to get a volunteer now. But if there's anyone who fancies signing up live and you can screen share to us, it would be really great to show how it works. If not, don't worry.
I can do that, Sarah.
Are you feeling bold?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. I'm going to stop screen sharing.
Okay.
And my bold volunteer is going to start.
But could you give me like maybe 1 minute? I'm logging in my phone. I have to log in my computer. So just give me a minute or so.
Sure, no problem. In that case, whilst you're revving up, I will show people who don't have Athens how they're going to access it. If that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there with me again. We'll do a bit more screen share. Okay, so if you were feeling that you didn't want to sign up for Athens for whatever reason, okay, you can just Google for BMJ Best Practice. But what I suggest you do is spell it right. Go for the COVID content, because BMJ Best Practice have made the COVID stuff freely available. So you'll be looking at all of the sort of facilities and all of the content here, but you won't need Athens to get to it, if that makes sense. So if you don't have an Athens account, then look at the free COVID stuff. Now, I wanted a volunteer because it knows I've got an account, and despite my best efforts, I can't untell it. So I'm not coming at it as fresh as my bold volunteer will be. Does that make sense? So either way around, you're going to be able to come to BMJ Best Practice either through Athens or just on the wild web, but only a certain amount of content is available to you. Okay, so I'm going to stop in anticipation of wow, it's like sci-fi.
Let me sorry, let me stop the zoom from the phone itself. Okay. I'm not sure how to.
Okay. Do you need a bit more time there, Suraj, or shall I do a bit more demoing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Right, I'm going to go back into BMJ Best Practice and just point out a few interesting features. Okay, so the obvious one is the fact that you've got, I'm going to use the coronavirus topic just for now, as I've got it up. This is absolutely standard presentation on the website. So you're going for every topic that you've got the main headings here so that you can look through management options. It would guide you through differential diagnoses. You've got treatment algorithms. Whichever method you're going to use to get into this, it's really worth a play. Obviously, if you're going in through Athens, you can look at all of the content. Because I'm logged in, I'm going to take advantage and show you the other features. So you can choose material particular to your specialty. So we can obviously choose emergency medicine, and you can browse topics that way. Let's pick something at random, or acute heart failure. You can check it out. It would guide, each of these has a drop down, so you can look at a case history. It would give you a typical case. You can look at the investigations. Everything is quite contained, quite neat, until you click the little arrows, and then you get quite a lot of information It's heavily referenced. You're given all of the references if you want to check anything out. It has images. It's got a lot of information contained in quite a small space. What it also has is quite sort of a different take on it. Patient discussion, for example. You've got some prompts to advise the patient, which is in a very brief form, or for some topics, it provokes a conversation with them about difficult issues. Each topic has its own kind of variation on patient discussion. You can check out guidelines, international guidelines, always UK if they're available, but it does look broader than that. There's images, videos, references. It produces its own patient information leaflets, which is pretty handy. And you can download those. So it's a really a lot of condensed information all in one place. If you, we're going to have a demo in a minute. Once you sign in, you will be eligible to access that content, and it's that personal account that you need if you're going to download the app, so that you can download the shell of the app from app stores, but it's your personal account login which actually fills it with content that you're authorized to see. Suraj, are you ready to?
Yeah, I'm ready, Sarah.
Okay, I will stop this. And we're going to have a look at a kind of a
Okay, so I'm going to share
Best
my
Practice
screen.
whilst you sign up.
Okay, share the screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, all looking good.
Right. Okay, so let me start with, oh, it's all bring it down. Okay. Right. So if we go to, let's say, for example, let's start from the beginning. This is what I've already done, but I'll just cancel that and let's start from the new web browser. So we all understand what we are talking about. So Open Athens is openathens.nice.org.uk. Right. So I've already logged in. So what I'll do is I'll sign out first. And this is what you will see basically first. Yeah. And I've got my address, password set up, logged in now. Hopefully it should log in now. Oops. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, it's logged in now. So here we can just go in the all your username and everything will show up here. The rights expiry, basically every trust has their own Open Athens. So I switched on to Doncaster one recently. So that's the only thing that might be required in this. Once start this, so go to my resources and to BMJ Best Practice via institution, and then Doncaster. And inside this is what she was talking about. So I'll go ahead with the logging.
That you'll be prompted to log in with a personal account as soon as you touch BMJ Best Practice when you come in through Athens.
Right. By doing that, by registering, you're agreeing. Tick to receive. I don't want to receive any furthers because my email is already full. So I'm going to go with the create account. It's as simple as any email address opening up. I'll probably save this, otherwise so this is what she was talking about. So if you so specialties, earlier we were talking about, let's say for example cardiology, we went earlier, and then in cardiology we went to acute heart failure and more of a patient discussions or the case history as well. And the leaflet that we are talking about, I can't exactly find that out at the moment.
Patient information on the right hand side under resources.
Patient information on the right hand side. Okay, right. So patient leaflets right
sorry,
here.
Yeah. There we go.
So
to navigate.
It's pretty significant information over here. However, I mean, what my question was, Sarah, I know like this gives a lot of details and it will be pages and pages. The worst part is we're going to give multiple pages and patients going to get lost in significant pages. So maybe in a few pages, is there any way we can actually get that information compiled in few pages?
Unlikely, but there are other places we can go for patient information.
Right.
They approach it in a different way, which I'll show you in a minute.
So let's see what one of them have. So let's say someone comes with atrial fibrillation, and just to let them know what it is, what sort of information it will pull up. So what happens, the likely chance of getting AF in certain comorbidities, symptoms, what will happen to me. So increased risk of stroke. So I think just stop there. So I think the resources are good, but it's less than what it's supposed to give it to us.
Sure. Okay. Right. So signing up was straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst you got your screen up,
yeah,
let's have a little look at what else is up there. One of the top headings, so beyond specialities, there's calculators, patient leaflets, videos, evidence is what I also wanted to show you because it feeds so nicely into critical appraisal. Have a look at that.
The evidence, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm clicking on.
So you've got a variety of things to explore. The EBM toolkit is the thing I particularly wanted you to have a look at.
This one here?
Yeah. So if you are feeling a little bit rusty or a little out of practice, the Learn EBM is a lovely resource and you can access that at your leisure.
Okay, so
yeah,
so got in there. These are the ones.
Yeah, so you could have a look there, and you're doing my demoing for me. It's
okay, so
more than just a clinical decision support tool. It's got.
Here you go. Okay, appraising systematic reviews. So that would be probably helpful in the journal club, I believe.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself.
Right.
Okay.
So did you mean to say that as well in Nepal they can't access the Open Athens at the moment? Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
The Open Athens, whoever is in Nepal at the moment, they don't have an access, I believe.
No, the requirements for an Open Athens account are you need to be in the UK employed by NHS. Unfortunately, it's not to stretch quite as far as CAP do. I'm really sorry about that. But once you're in the UK, then Athens account will work just fine. And I'll help anyone who's struggling with that.
I'm going back to
that was really handy. Do you want to go back and pick a completely different clinical topic?
Okay, right. Do that. So specialty.
Search. Stick something in the search box. It might be as easy.
Okay, let's see if it's temporomandibular, anything suggestive of it. Okay, it's presented with. So let's go for migraine headache. So this is assessment. So in history, ask such questions, examination normal, diagnosis clinical, head CT. Okay, let's say the subarachnoid hemorrhage. So basically, each headache, how does it present, is what it's showing.
Yeah, so you're looking to look at the differentials. So it's going to show you the red flag ones.
Okay, you dictate me, and then I'll do accordingly.
That's okay. Where are you? It's so if you go back up to the emergencies tab at the top, just under the word head.
Right. Okay.
There.
Sorry.
So it gives you. It's very brief on this, but it gives you a quick flash. If your brain had gone blank, this is the purpose of some of these topics. It's just a quick, right, this is what to do if you don't know what to do.
approach?
Yeah, have a look.
History, context, prior headache, provocation, medical history, initial survey, head and neck examination.
So I'm assuming you're not going to want to read like an essay on each topic. BMJ Best Practice has been structured so that you just quickly zip into an area that you need to look at, to check,
Right.
just to add something else to your to the situation and the consultation. And then there's more in-depth stuff that you can follow up later on.
Right.
Okay.
Is this, Sarah, this, excuse me, this app we're talking about, is that
Yeah.
bit easier than this?
The app
because
is,
this to me is beneficial if we could use a bedside tool.
yeah, yeah. No, it's the app is exactly the same content. It's obviously the presentation of it is slightly more shrunk down. There's more sort of drop downs because it can't all present on the same small mobile phone page, but the full content is available in an app. So you would, if Suraj, you've done a fab job there. Can I switch back to my view?
Yeah, I'll stop there then.
Thank you very much indeed.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that very much. I'll go back to my version here. So if you're interested in the app, you just Google for BMJ Best Practice in your app store, download it, but you will need to have set up a personal account first on the authorized Athens route into BMJ Best Practice so that it knows you're eligible to look at the content. The other thing, before you think I'm plugging this thing to death, is that it's got a really neat kind of CPD element to it. So I've looked at tons of topics over the last few years, and it's collecting CPD time for me. And it is actually accredited. I think it's Royal College of Physicians. You can build points, make prizes. The time that you spend in BMJ Best Practice, you can convert to proper CPD points, which is pretty handy. It prompts you for a reflection, and then you can get a certificate, which you can kind of cash in for your CPD points. I think it's an hour on BMJ Best Practice is 0.25 of a point, but it just, it does tot up. Okay, if you are playing along, then you'll have found topics that you'll for. I've got, I was going to do paracetamol poisoning because I've already looked at that on another tool I want to have a look at so we can see the sort of compare and contrast really. It's quite comprehensive. It's prompting you, as Suraj was showing you, differential diagnoses are there. It's prompting you for the history and the exam, common and uncommon presentations, and lots further information. So you can really go into it in detail, or it's just a really fast reminder of what you probably already knew. So have a play with BMJ Best Practice. You're limited to the COVID one if you don't have Athens, but you can use the link in the PDF that I sent you, and you'll be going into the NHS approved route, and it will prompt you for your Athens account. Then you set your personal account. Okay, so all your personal account stuff is up here. My notifications, I don't think so. You've got your details. Once you've logged in, it keeps a little detail about you, and you would need that to have registered before you can download the app. Okay, I'm going to show you the next clinical decision support tool, because we do have two in our trust. We're very lucky, and there are two different ways to get at it. If you are doing anything today on a trust computer, then you're in luck, because every single PC and laptop that belongs to the trust has has Dynamed within its clinical systems menu. So I'm just clicking on the window symbol here. Clinical systems on every trust PC includes Dynamed. So that's a really easy route in. I'm not going to use that one because I doubt very much that many of you are working on trust PCs today. So I'm just going to do the normal thing that you would do, and that's, I have already Googled for Dynamed, and that's all you need to do to start with. So I've Googled for Dynamed. This is a commercial product that the trust actually purchases. So this isn't nationally available. Different trusts buy in different extra facilities, and Dynamed is one that the trust has purchased. So if you come to it through Google, the thing to do to make sure you can access the content is to sign in with Athens. And you do this by clicking on the little person, and it's slightly counterintuitive, but it says already subscribed. Well, you haven't as an individual, but our trust has. So you sign in and it prompts you for institutional open Athens. That's the one you want. Don't start trying to log in immediately because it needs to authenticate you as being eligible to see the content. So you log in with Athens. Athens is always going to be handy. And the chances are this time it's gone in, it's probably clocked that I have an account and that I'm logged in with Athens, which is why I need another volunteer, please, because I can't convince it that I've never come across it before. So
I do it. I'll shall I continue?
Who's volunteering? Sorry.
Would you like me to show again?
Hang on, I would prefer another victim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Let me stop sharing so I can look at all your lack of video faces. Go on, someone be bold. Who hasn't got a Dynamed account and would like to be my demonstrator, please?
I can do it if you want.
Oh, cheers, Tom. Thank you very much.
Also, so which one do I need to go on first? Sorry, I'm still on.
Okay, so let's go from the beginning. If you share your screen and then Google for Dynamed, then we can watch you stumble all the way through, which will be very instructional.
Is that sharing?
That's perfect.
Yes.
Right.
So click the little person.
Yeah.
Oh, does it know you already? Or did you come, have you got a trust PC?
No, I've
Right, well, go through the motions and go down to the institutional open Athens link. And sign in with your Athens account.
so that's going to be. Would that be the one we've set up this morning?
If you don't have Athens, you can also Google for Dynamed COVID, because it has also put its COVID material free. So you can explore the facilities if you don't have Athens access. Oh, this is a very shiny new Athens account. Excellent. All right, so you're in and it knows that you have come in through an authenticated route. The next thing to do is to click on the little person and actually set yourself up a personal account if you haven't done that already. So register now.
And would that want my NHS email? Or?
It doesn't actually matter. It's you know, it'd be convenient and then you probably could use your detail, but it doesn't actually matter. Because you've come in through Athens, this isn't part of the authentication process. This is just setting you up for convenience so that you can log your CPD time and download the app if you wanted to. So unfortunately, there's always this two-step, go in through Athens, then set yourself a personal account up. But after that, everything will work beautifully. she says with her fingers crossed under the desk. All good?
Yeah.
So you have an account. You've logged in through Athens. Now, if you would prefer, I can share my screen and guide you through some of the features.
Yeah, sure.
You've done the really tricky bit. Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate that. Okay, so Dynamed. So this is quite whizzy. This is more international than BMJ Best Practice, most likely. It's an American product with a kind of a UK flavor, if you like. So it certainly uses UK resources in its evidence base. It is very, very similar in style to BMJ Best Practice. They don't like to confuse you. So you can look at the content through specialties. So we can obviously choose emergency medicine, and then you can be a little bit more specific. So let's have a look at medical emergencies. Oh, let's see, we'll go with cardiology again. Let's pick up the same thing. So it has a standard set of headings in a very similar way to BMJ Best Practice. What it has, though, is probably longer content. I'm a bit skippy with my mouse there, sorry. So it goes through a very standard approach. What you can ask for to look at is to see when this topic was last updated to give you confidence. So this was March last year, but what they do is update as soon as something is clinically important. They adjust each of their topics, which must be a phenomenal task. And you can see where an update has been incorporated into each topic, depending on what it is. So the functionality for Dynamed is as you would expect, really. It would prompt you for the history, for kind of physical, and see if I can guide my mouse a little bit more slowly so nobody feels sick. Okay, you can have a look in the management. Everything is evidence-based. It tells you exactly where it gets its sources, and it gives you a little sort of summary of some of the content and an evaluation of the quality of the content as well. So you can go into it in different ways. It's a bit like an onion. You're kind of peeling layers and layers and layers. Quite superficially, you can use it as a very fast lookup, but if you actually want to go in depth into a topic, you can do that too. What you can do on a particular page is scoot down to the bottom and just look at guidelines or just look at patient information. You don't have to get bogged down because the content on the left-hand side is really neat. So we can see what international, UK, American guidelines say. You get a quick dip in if you want to do it that way. The patient information to compare and contrast comes from a really wide variety of sources, often American, but they almost always have a decent UK source as well. So Patient UK, I'm familiar with that website. I'm quite happy with the quality of the content of patient information that comes from there. They're quite substantial handouts. So you could check British Heart Foundation. There's a right mixture. Not every topic is as well addressed as this particular one. So Dynamed itself, to go back to the front page, has got some sort of additional features. And one of those is that it has the recent alerts kind of flagged on the front. If you sign in, which I'm going to do now, you get an additional bit of functionality. Now this will be interesting. I can remember it's been a little while since I've Marvelous. Might be going back to Tom and his brand new shiny personal account at this stage. Oh yeah, we are. Are you all right, Tom? Embarrassingly enough, I'll come out of attempting.
It needs a special character as well, Sarah.
Sorry, say again?
It needs a special character as well.
Yeah, I just whacked my favorite special character in on the end there, but it wasn't having it. I see. I'll blame Sundar. He yanked me away from something else 20 minutes early. I would have had time to practice.
So do you want me to share my screen again?
Would you mind, Tom? Sorry, I'll just.
Does that come through okay?
Yeah, that's terrific. So are you fully logged in?
Yeah.
You've got your personal account set up. So if you scroll down to recent alerts, okay, you can little click on an alert and let's see what you've also got. Use the follow tool available to personalize your alerts. There's stuff that you can do. You can filter by category. So try up there. Right, so that's brand new, 19th of January. They've inserted their information from a drug alert. So that shows you how quickly they can update when something important occurs. If you go back to the from the updates page, that's it. So once you click, try the recent alerts as a sort of a heading. Click on recent alerts. No, not giving you that. Okay.
Use follow tool to personalize your alerts.
Yeah, you can click on that once you're in an actual topic and it will ping you when a topic is updated in any way. You should be able to click on view more alerts. Let's see if the functionality shows up there. Yeah, filter by category. And then pick anything that looks vaguely interesting. Okay, it's pinged you straight to where that's been inserted. That was 10th of January, that's cool. So at the top of that full page, right at the top of the topic, you might have to go up to reviews, overviews and recommendations on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Okay, at the very top, there's, I'm expecting a little bit of, there we go, that's it, the follow option. It wasn't a cross after all. You can follow that topic for further updates, or in the updates page, you can click on a category of updates and be alerted when emergency medicine ones are updated. So you can, it will message you. But where the follow option has gone, it has absolutely vanished. Okay, let's not dwell on that for too long. So if you, I mentioned the CPD element, and already you've collected 2.5 CME points. Dynamed, because it's American, its CPD points are accredited to an American medical association. So you're not going to be able to swap them for points in the same way, but it will log time spent. So you can actually produce a certificate for time spent and you can reflect on any topics that you've used, but it isn't affiliated to a Royal College in the UK that would actually give you points. So once you've got your personal account like Tom has, you are eligible to download the app and then populate it with appropriate content. So you can Google for the Dynamed app, and then you would be required to log into the sort of shell of the app with your personal account details, and then you can have it. Dynamed is massive. It will give you different download options. So unless you've got a tremendous amount of storage on your phone, don't go for the full whack, including videos. There's a less kind of memory heavy version, which doesn't include all of the audio visual content, but contains all of the clinical stuff. Okay, thank you very much, Tom, for saving my bacon there. Now, there is two more things I wanted to show you, not in terms of clinical decision support software, but just sort of extra stuff that we have if you want to read journal articles in full text, if you want to access the evidence for any topics that you're doing. If you're doing a QI project and you want to explore, or you just want to keep abreast of things, we've got a lovely product called Browsine, which is an interface with all of our full text journals. So this is something that everybody can have a look at, but in order to take advantage of the kind of enhanced features like setting your own account up, then you really need to be in the UK for that, but you can look at our content from anywhere. So let's get rid of the embarrassing not able to sign into Dynamed, and I will just share again. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to go with, I'll repurpose this, I think, because the little hover bar for Teams is right over where I want to be. Hang on a second. I'm sure there must be a way to shift it right. You can Google for browsing. See, I'm not taking you in the website, our library website route, because most people just want to Google for things. I do know this. So if I Google for browsing, it's a commercial product that we've purchased. And at the very start, it says, choose my library, which is pretty handy because it's what it's asking you to do is to say, which set of content do I want to look at? And it should give me a full alphabetical list from which I can choose. So bear with me a second. Here we are. So you can look at the content that Doncaster has. You don't have to have signed into anything at this stage. It's just available out there on the web. So we'll just use this for a minute. You can browse if you know a journal title, or if you just want to look for subject. Now, the little red filing cabinet is a subject, so it'll have all of its emergency and disaster medicine titles in this little filing cabinet, but it's also listing quite a few individual titles to prompt you. Now, I just put emergency. It didn't know that you're all doctors, so it's offering emergency nursing as a separate filing cabinet full of titles, or we can just land on an individual one. So I'm going to show you everything that's available here. Now, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? We've got so many emergency titles. If something's too good to be true, it usually is. And we don't have full unfettered full text access to all of these. We've probably got some full text access to part of them. So it might be that we bought an archive a long time ago, but it also might be that there's an embargo on current full text, which is massively irritating, but it makes them affordable. So what might be the case is that we click on, I have no idea, let's do Emergency Medicine International. Let's have a random look. Well, not a terrific example, let's not choose that one. It doesn't have a lot in its content there. We could have a look at European Journal of Trauma and something. Ah, that's good. So this has an embargo for 1 year on full text from time of publication. It's like a rolling roadblock. We can't get around it. We just have to put up with it. But for the current year, you can't look at the full text. But as soon as you go back a step, you absolutely can. So you'll see the little PDF option is here now for the previous year's worth of content. But in the current edition, we are barred by the embargo from immediately looking at the full text. However, it's not all bad news. Because what we can do is, osteology of the ilium revised. Oh, goodness me, that looks riveting. We can click to link to the article. And it's saying, okay, the full text isn't available, but we might be able to get it for you. And there's an automatic request form that you can get to that's pre-populated, which is quite neat. You just got a small step to go through first. Oh God, and it's been recorded. Come on, agree and proceed and close. Okay, So somewhere hidden on ProQuest is the full text of that article. What a lousy example I've just given. I'm not going to be daunted. I'm going to go back and choose something else. I'll show you a different way to get in as well. So we picked that up from emergency, but you could just as easily choose the medical specialty from this list as well. So emergency and disaster medicine is within medical specialties, or you could browse diseases, you could browse all sorts of things. So if you log in with a personal account, which is obviously, it's that two-step process, you can have an additional functionality, including setting up your own little bookcase. You can collect titles and set up your own kind of little library. You can also collect articles that you want to read later and put those in your little library as well. So it's got some nice features. When you set yourself up a personal account, that's when you can have an app. You log in the same way with your personal details, and the two will interact and keep each other updated. So you've got some nice, kind of a nice little handheld library of articles if you wish. I'm not going to get anyone to demonstrate that. I think we've probably done that one.
I've got a quick question. Say, for example, I was given this journal club article. Can we find that out over here just as a way to search? Because I was trying to find the PDF version, but I could just get the WhatsApp to be emailed to my Gmail and then download.
Yeah, yes, you can get that
from there rather than going from what you're mentioning.
For the journal club articles, they're irritatingly, the ones that I choose that I think will be most useful are often from our full text collections. I usually have to go outside for those. I get giddy when they've arrived. It's because they are literally coming in from elsewhere. What journal did it come from?
American Journal of Emergency Medicine.
All right, well, we can try it and let's see. I have a feeling that that won't be one that we have, but let's. It's giving me some prompts. Let's see if we've got a. No, there's nothing in the American Journal of Emergency Medicine, the little gap there after dance therapy. I'm pretty sure that we were external for that particular article.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's ideally, we would have massive full text access and instant link clicking would be available. But unfortunately, the NHS doesn't buy us that much full text access. So we need to go external, which is always a possibility.
That's fine. We found out that some may not be there, most of them may be there. So that's the
it's worth a punt. You can search by subject or a specific journal title. This isn't the place to do your literature searching. This is when you know of a journal or you want to browse journals on a particular subject. If you want articles on a particular topic, that's not the product for you. And that's where you would have a look in the databases. So I'm going to stop sharing now. Now, it's very hard to gauge from 21 people with a name and they're all on mute. How many of you were able to play along there? Could you give me an indication by using Zoom's little reactions thing and put your thumb up if you were able to actually do something practical whilst I was chattering at you? Cheers, Regina, that's great. Please tell me that's not just her. Oh, right, okay. A wordy thumbs up from Suraj. Okay, I'm going to show you one last place that if you were not playing along today for whatever reason, but you want to do this in your not copious amounts of free time, I'll show you where you can go to click the links through and act as a prompt. So it's my last bit of screen share today is going to be to show you how to get to our website. Okay, so, and Google can give you this DBTH library. We've optimized our web page so that you can get to us from Google. So this is the library website that's part of the Trust's website. It's an external, proper website. You're not going to find much information on our intranet page because we have external customers as well, and it was just irritating to have to update 2 places. So we've got an external web page with lots of information, including stuff about all of the resources that I've just shown you. So there's a resources page, and there's lots more, but I was just keeping it to the clinical decision tools. But down here, you can see there's stuff on browsing. You can just click the image and you'll go to browsing. It's got more information about how you can make use of it. BMJ Best Practice, you can just click and go, and that takes you, prompts you for Athens login before you set your personal account up. Dynamed, you can just click and go. There's lots more there. Okay, so that's where you go to if you were half interested in what I was saying. You haven't looked at it today while we were demonstrating it. So in 45 minutes-ish, which was what I was aiming to do, I hope I've managed to tickle your interest in clinical decision support tools. I've got an example that BMJ Best Practice put together, which is it's like a case study of an emergency medicine doctor that used BMJ Best Practice and things that he did with it and things that he found valuable. So I will pop that into WhatsApp afterwards, and you can have a look and see if it gives you any more ideas of what to do with it or what this guy did with it. But I guess he's a kind of a, what do they call them? A champion in his trust for BMJ Best Practice. So he's obviously going to make it sound really shiny. But actually, we get such good feedback from all different departments that they do find something valuable in it. So please have a go. Any questions? Any bits you struggled with if you were trying? Any bits I can unstick for you?
For us, in terms of whatever we've done, let's say, for example, we've checked the BMJ practice, did a particular reading on one of the topics, how to gain that CPD to be
how to do the
kind of transferred to our HIEM library. Or
now that bit I do not know. You can download a certificate, so I guess you could upload the certificate, but I don't know how your personal portfolios work, I'm afraid, but we could explore that.
I think Suraj, you know, the HIEM have a diary. You know, I think you can get it. So once you go to that diary, so then there's a facility for the attachment of the certificate. So you might be able to do in that way.
okay, I'll try one.
So so I've got Best Practice and I've had it for the last year or so. And with it before, when I've come up to like appraisals or whatever, if you go on the website, you can basically download your certificates, and it gives you like each month how many sort of hours you've done on it, and it tracks it all. So then you get sort of your 12 certificates for each month throughout the year, and then I think with those you'd be able to upload them from there.
Okay, then right, that's a good.
Yeah, I think HIEM diary is a good tool, is it? Because you can transport it to your appraisal, to your e-portfolio. So there's a facility for the attaching. As Tom is saying, you can download a certificate, your credential certificate, and then you can upload to the diary, attach with the diary, and that will be there on your this device, either as a laptop or iPad, whatever. So from there, you can transport this to any other appraisal or your e-portfolio, whatever. So I think I found that very easy.
To answer Dr. Junja's question, I've actually downloaded the BMJ Practice app. All it does is it takes like 5 minutes to download the whole content, and then it'll make it access according to the specialities, according to what the stress you want to do. I think you can actually try that, Mr. Junja. It's quite easy. You just have to let it download for 5 minutes. Even after the app is downloaded, the content download takes 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
Okay,
But-
so any more
that's-
questions?
Yeah, I think that's very, very helpful, Sarah, really, because Open Athens, so there are a lot of resources. I think it's very helpful. I think what I do normally is when I encounter any problem with a patient, like looking at the drug dosage, that sort of stuff. So I go like to a specific section of that sort of article. So then look quickly there and then go along with the work which I'm doing. Because reading all of the stuff on a bedside is difficult. So which Sarah made a point is very handy, really.
Yeah, we get feedback from all sorts of different departments about what they use it for, but it's consultants in clinic down to, F1s on their first ward round. There's something for everybody in between those two extremes. I think it's worth spending a little bit of time exploring it to see how you might use it, because it might be different to how someone else would make use of it. Thank you for putting up with lots of screen share, dipping and dotting, and thank you very much to my volunteers for showing how to set their accounts up. That was really handy. One of these days I'll be able to lose all the cookies on my laptop and come at it fresh, but I haven't solved that one yet. So you know where I am if you have any further questions. If you want to take I don't know how you're going to structure the rest of the morning, but there'll be some time, I guess, to have a play. I'm around. You can ping me a question on WhatsApp if you want, but I'm going to come off the call now, unless anyone's got anything else they need.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for your time. Definitely, some of us had what it takes. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to help.
Grand. Thank you.
Excellent.
I will see you next week for Journal Club then in that case.
Yeah, very difficult subject made easy by Sarah. Guys, I can tell you that because, oh God.
Thank you. The perils of live
Because
demoing.
I'm telling you from my experience when we were the beginner. So, oh God, it used to be a very difficult for us, but it's so easy now.
The curriculum number for this session, I have no idea. I don't know. Really sorry.
I mean, we could put in the managerial stuff or something like that in that sort of category. Because that's your managing your practice, really.
That sounds good. Okay. I will head off now. Enjoy the rest of your morning and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Sarah. Take care.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.
Thank you, Sarah.
So we finishes at 10:27. So shall we start next session by Tom or?
I think it depends on you guys. If you start next session by Tom, then you will have a bit of time to play around with Athens and stuff like that,
I think we should start. Yeah, if that's Tom is okay then.
Yeah, I'm fine to go.
Okay, Tom, you can go ahead.